Hello! So I'm making a dress in a bag because I've been invited to a wedding that has a theme where you have to wear fuchsia or orange, and I looked everywhere and I didn't like anything really, so I was like, why not just make my own? I don't have a lot of experience with garments, I have more experience with bags. I'm just gonna learn how to make a dress and I'll make a little bag on the side. I do want to say that I did not end up wearing the dress at the wedding because of weather purposes, so I wore long sleeves instead. I just had something in my closet, but I'm still happy. In my entire life I just made 3 dresses and one was just like a random one. The one after that was actually another dress for the wedding that I decided to make, but that did not work out for me because I wasn't connecting with it. And I know it's kind of weird because, like, why do you want to connect with a dress if it looks good, it looks good. And it looked good, but I'm someone who really wants to feel like it's a part of me, and it didn't feel like that. And I think it was because it was a satin jacquard fabric, which is very wedding appropriate, but for me, it wasn't a fabric that I would go towards, or at least maybe the cut of the dress was not necessarily something I would wear mixed with that fabric. But that time was not lost because I used a pattern that is very similar to the one that I made in this video, and it helped me a lot to learn a lot of the basic stuff that I did not know. Then I made the other dress. And I chose a blend of linen and polyester. The fabric is so flowy and it had a lot of movements, but it looked very elegant at the same time. When I found that fabric, I was like, okay, yeah, that's something that I would actually wear. And I do want to say that it's not a super fancy wedding, it was kind of more casual. The first dress that I made for the wedding was actually spaghetti straps and just like a normal bodice. The one that I decided to make that I'm really satisfied with actually is a boat neck because I really like the neckline of a boat neck. So I looked for a boat neck pattern and I did find I have my notes here just so I don't forget anything. I ended up buying the Coraline Street pattern. It came with a YouTube video, which was really great because it really helped me to understand everything. And actually the first pattern that I followed was the Daydreamer dress pattern that also came with a YouTube video, and that really helped too. The dress is a boat neck dress, but it's just like one whole like A-line skirt dress, but I didn't want that. I really like the half circle skirt look, so I decided to do the top of the bodice as the pattern stated, but just attach a half circle skirt at the bottom. And actually, I would suggest that if you were to make a garment that is kind of complicated, because this one had princess seams, a boat neck, an invisible zipper, and it had a whole lining inside to make it look very clean. If you have something that's very complicated and you're kind of a beginner in garment making, it's really nice when the pattern has a YouTube video attached with it. I really like the ones that have really detailed instructions to the point where I can't miss anything, and these 2 patterns, the Daydreamer dress and the Coraline Street boat neck dress, were it. I did add a lace trimming at the bottom of the half circle skirt, which gave it an extra detail that I really liked. I actually took this idea from the first dress that I made, which was the Daydreamer dress, because it had a lace trim at the bottom, and the Coraline Street boat neck dress did not have a lace pattern, but I decided why not just add it. I also on the side made a bag, and it was a satin bag. I had a lot of inspo for the dress and the bag. I knew that I wanted a satin bag, so I got some satin lining fabric. I didn't find just some satin fabric, so I got some satin lining. It looked amazing. I would highly suggest to make this bag. This bag did not require a pattern, because I did not find a pattern for it actually. I had a very specific idea in mind that I found on Pinterest, and I decided to just do a scavenger hunt and try to find someone who can teach me how to do it. I ended up finding someone on YouTube, actually 2 people on YouTube that had tutorials, so I watched both of the tutorials. They were really great YouTube videos. It went really great. The first dress, the Daydreamer pattern I had to follow, it was really difficult because it was the first time that I'm actually following like such a complicated pattern. And then the second one, so the one that I'm gonna show you, actually took way less time because I had learned a lot of things from the first pattern, and they are really similar because they have princess seams to bodice, just the neckline is different. Both of the patterns were not too hard to follow. The thing that I think I would say, and I think it's the most obvious thing, is to take your time. And I know this is kind of a basic in sewing. You just have to take your time and stop when you feel like you're getting frustrated, because I think it's so easy to just not realize that you're actually trying to speed up the process and missing out on being precise and putting effort in the details, because that changes everything. I would say, like, make sure things are aligned and ask yourself, am I trying to get rid of this task? And if I am, maybe I should just take a break. And I found myself taking a lot of breaks because sometimes things needed a lot of precision. So I initially had a week and a half to make this dress, right? But as I told you, I made 2. So the first one took a week because it took a lot of time. It was the first time that I was actually learning how to make a dress. And so by the time I was done with the first one, I had 2 days left. I hadn't started the bag either. So the video that you're seeing, it's literally in 2 days. And when I say 2 days, I mean, I have a 9 to 5, so I had to sew in the morning and then after work. So I had like only a few hours really. And then finally I had time to make the bag, I think the day of the wedding. I do want to say that I took my time for the precise stuff, but I had to speed up the overall process. The moments where I had to be precise and take my time, I did. One material that was needed was stay tape, and I had a lot of difficulty finding it. It's not on Amazon, so I ended up finding it at Fabricland. But it took me a lot of searching because there are so many different types of stay tape. So that's pretty much it. And also the bag is a satin bag. It looks amazing. I have nothing to say about it. It's one of my favorite bags right now. It's such a wedding bag because it's satin and it's like off-white. But I don't care. It looks so good. It's so cute. It's very tiny and I'm really, really happy with it. And I can't wait to wear the dress outside. Like, I'm so happy with this. So yeah. next morning and here is what it looks like so far. First of all, I realized that the skirt needs lining because it's see-through on its own. So I created a lining which is underneath it. But the thing is I didn't have enough fabric. So it's underneath, it's a lining, but it stops in the middle. I hope you won't see like the line. Second, I know I modified the pattern to make it look like a curved neckline at the top, but I changed that. I didn't realize that I didn't put enough fabric in the pattern. So what I did was that I put a curve and extended the fabric following the line of the pattern, but I shouldn't have done that. I should have went more in a V to cover the whole back. And so I realized that I had two choices. Those two choices were either to add fabric to cover the part, and that would be difficult because we are putting an invisible zipper in the middle, so I would have to create two blocks of fabric and measure them and make sure they're right, or just follow the original pattern. The reason I changed the pattern was that I didn't like the v-neck so much, but now I have no choice, and you know what? I don't think it looks too bad. I have to put it on and pin it just to see what it looks like, to see if I have to make any adjustments. And finally, I'm gonna start sewing the top to the bottom, and the final step will be to install the invisible zipper, and it will be pretty much done, at least the base, and then we'll be able to add the cute stuff like lace and the pearls. I'm not sure about the pearls, but I know I want the lace. This is what we have so far, and it's sewn on the side so we can't see anything anymore. But yeah, so far so good. I'm going to now attach the top to the skirt. Okay, this is what I have so far. So I put the bottom of the dress with the top of the dress, and the lining and the front are separated, but they're still sewn together. I was scared of like, is it going to slide around or anything, but since I'll be putting the invisible zipper with the lining and the front, I think it'll be okay. This is kind of what I'm going for. I feel like it still has a lot of fabric in the back, but I'll try to figure that out. The real test will be the invisible zipper, so that's what I'm going to do now. The zipper was a success. It looks so great. I did fail the zipper once, at least one side once. And so the first side was okay. The second side, I didn't match the notches of the waistline because I completely forgot. And so I redid it and it looks so great. And ironing the invisible zipper before you sew it on is actually such a great tip. It made such a big difference because I've sewn invisible zippers before and I've noticed how much closer you can get. I have the hem that is still raw at the bottom. I'm going to put on this lace. I had to do a lining because it was see-through as I told you, but the lining is shorter than the actual dress, so I'm going to have to zigzag stitch the lining just to make sure that it doesn't fray. And also I kind of feel like this part is kind of bulky because there is some seam allowance here, so I'm going to try to iron that to make sure it doesn't appear anywhere. Hello, it's the next day because I did not have time to do much yesterday evening, but let me show you. So this is the dress. I'm very satisfied with it. I think it looks great. I think the neckline looks amazing. And you can see how the movement on the fabric is very flowy, which I really like. This is the back and this is the lace at the bottom. I think this added a subtle detail that I really enjoyed. And I'm going to show you the other dress I made for comparison. This is it. As you can see, totally different neckline and material. At the end, I just think the material and neckline were not a good match, which was my mistake. And this is the back, which was honestly great. And you can notice some gaping at the back, which I made sure to not have in the linen one. And this one looks so much cleaner. The lining inside is so perfect, you can't really see anything. Whereas this one, like, you can definitely see.